break. 80,000 voices.
Hello everyone, how you doing? You're welcome to the channel. So have you been? So today we continue our talk on World Cup qualifiers. We continue our talk on players joining the camp, like Victor Osimhen joined yesterday, Uche Santos joined yesterday as well, Tula Rokodare, Samuel Chukwueze all joined. So a lot of things to talk about. Exciting, super excited for that game versus South Africa. We go again on our formation rundown, looking at the formation that possibly could be, had by Eric Chelle or adopted by Eric Chelle, given the players he invited into the team. So for me, super excited. World Cup qualifiers. I'll start the first one on Saturday, on the 6th of September, and then of course we've got the big one against South Africa. One thing that Wilfred Ndidi said in an interview, I think we also had that on here yesterday as well, where he talked about the most important game is the one versus Rwanda that we're playing on Saturday. Because if you don't win that one, everything versus South Africa it means nothing, right? And then talk about $100,000 for each player if they get to the World Cup or they win the World Cup or something like that. So once again, he gave a very good answer that what matters is getting to the qualifiers. Then when you get to the World Cup, you can then begin to think about how you can win the tournament, where you can finish, and things like that. So I'm still super confident going into this game. I feel that Nigeria can indeed, qualify for the World Cup. It's just a question of mentality, a question of approach, how Eric Chelle looks at that game. And for me, like I said, keep things simple. 100% keep things simple. And once again, if you would like to join the video, you want to come up and have a discussion right here live on the show, I'll drop the link to the video so you can in the chat, in the comments. So I'll drop it there drop it there so you can click on the link, and then we could have that discussion there. So there it is. So for me, super excited once again. If you're just joining, nice to have you on here. How you feeling heading towards the game? Just a day in between today and the day for the game. So Nigeria taking on Rwanda. How do you think Eric Chelle should approach that game? How confident are you feeling? What starting lineup do you think you should go with? So let's have that discussion. Let's go. And then, of course, I want to talk about the players who are already in the camp. So let's go and have a look. First off, I think there's another message from the captain of the team. So let's have a listen. I think he dropped this on the X handle of the Nigerian Super Eagles official X handle. So I'll just go play to have a listen, and then we can go from there. So first off, listen, you can see this. So okay, let's go now.
I think everyone is focused. We're here now. We're waiting for the last few players to arrive very shortly. Looking forward to having a full house for training tonight. But yeah, no, I think the boys are very focused. We're looking forward to the game on Saturday. I want to thank them for their support. I want to ask them to continue to encourage us to be there in the stadium on Saturday, to be praying for us, everyone else in Nigeria. It's going to be important, set up games for us now, starting on Saturday. We know the gravity of this game. And we're going to be focused on preparation, because I think that's the thing that's going to give us confidence for the game on Saturday. Benjamin's a humble, hard-working, very talented defender. I think we were all really impressed with what he showed us in the Unity Cup. To win the Unity Cup and also to come in so last minute and play so well, it's not easy at all. So I think a big credit to him. I know how hard he's worked. Also a big credit to my teammate Moses Simon for giving him the opportunity and bringing him to his academy before he came to Brentford. So it's things that we love to see. We have a young, talented player that's going to be the future of Nigeria as a defender. And we have a current, very talented Super Eagle who has helped him give the opportunity to play professional football and be a Super Eagle. So it's an amazing story, and I'm looking forward to seeing him continue his development and becoming important for the team.
So you've heard that from William Troost-Ekong. Now, of course, they would have the support. That's one thing that we want to get in that Uyo Stadium. Hopefully, the support is loud and proud and really, really vociferous, make life really uncomfortable for what's it called now for the Rwandan side. But also, just to talk about what the player mentioned, Benjamin Fredericks. I know we've talked about him before, but the way he's matured is someone that I wouldn't mind seeing start. Because I think Kevin made a very important notification, made a very important point, which was that Calvin Bassey is on a yellow card, and any sort of booking, that means he misses the game versus South Africa. So maybe Benjamin Fredericks could start alongside Troost-Ekong in that game versus Rwanda. We believe that Nigeria will be on the front foot, and also remembering how well he played in that Unity Cup. So we're thinking he can bring that confidence into this game just to make sure he can have Calvin Bassey set for the next game. And then for Igor Ogbu, earlier on I talked about Igor Ogbu not being dropped from the team. And I think it's because he picked up an injury. He has a muscular injury. I think he had an MRI scan with his team. So I think he will miss out on a couple of games for his club side. So it's unfortunate about that, because I just think he would complement Troost-Ekong a lot. He would complement him a lot. Or even if he had played with the Benjamin Fredericks, I think that style would have, complemented each other, because we need that aggressive, fast, powerful center back. Now, don't get me wrong, Troost-Ekong is still the captain of the team, he's the leader of the team, but when it comes to that sheer physicality, he may be lacking in that area since he's getting old. Like I say, for that time comes for us all. So, but fair play, the team as it is right now should be able to defeat Rwanda at home for sure. And no need to think about South Africa, because the objective remains the same. You have to win. Nigerian Super Eagles have to win both games. There's no if, buts, or maybe. So you go into the Rwanda game, you win that game, and then you go to the South African game. The one question I want to ask is, I want to ask this of CAF, I want to ask this of FIFA, what is going on with that 3-point deduction? I know it's the same thing, the same mindset still remains, whether or not the points are deducted or not. Going into that game, we want to know that the points have been deducted from South Africa. That's one. But another thing that I when I look at that, I say Nigeria should really, really focus on herself. That is winning every game, because I have the feeling that South Africa will drop points. I have the feeling, I have the belief that even in their first game against Lesotho, they could drop points, right? But Nigeria needs to win and be in and around that situation when and if they drop points. So that's super, super important in my humble opinion, that Nigeria, we don't take the game for granted. Don't overlook. Because if you remember, there was a World Cup where Nigeria were playing Denmark and then had all our sights set on Brazil. I don't know how many of us were old enough to remember that game. Had our eyes set on Denmark, saying on Brazil, we're going to beat Brazil, not even compete with Brazil. And Nigeria Super Eagles were going to beat and defeat Brazil. And then what happened? What happened? Got smashed 4-1 by 4-1 or 5-1 by Denmark. And then, the rest is, as they say, water under the bridge. So for me, going to the Rwanda game, treat it like a serious game. And if you can, first 45 minutes, you dispatch them 3-0, which is quite possible if that game is taken seriously. So like I said earlier on, we have not new players per se, but more players in the camp. I'm sure most of you must have seen this picture yesterday. So Adoman Lookman is in there, Calvin Bassey is in there, Cyril Dessart is in there as well. Cyril Dessart not too long ago completed his move to Panathinaikos, the Greek side. So good to see him in there. Now, there's a question I want to ask because I spent my time thinking about this game, thinking about the fixtures, thinking about how Nigeria could set up. So, like we know, for the attack, Victor Osimhen is the number one guy, right? He is the number one guy. The next thing is who else pairs with him. If you're going with any formation that requires two strikers, 5-3-2, 4-4-2, 4-2-4, you require a striker, right? So who would pair with Victor Osimhen? Now, for me, on the one hand, I would say Tula Rokodare, because Tula Rokodare super powerful, he's quick, he's big as well, 6'6". He can be, this old school sort of centre forward pairing we used to see. Unfortunately, we don't see that as much anymore, where you have one giant centre back, one giant centre forward, and one sort of smallest centre forward. So with Tola Rukudare being the big one, the ball comes into his chest, he can hold it up and lay it off for a Victor Osimhen, flicking off the ball, and then just be an absolute handful for the Rwandan defenders to handle. And if that happens, where the Rwandan defenders are occupied with Tola Rukudare, you can imagine what Victor Osimhen can do with the space that he will have. And then as well, on the flip side of it, you can think, say, okay, maybe Siduri Desas, who I think is a very, very good finisher, could play the role of the small striker playing alongside Victor Osimhen. And then definitely with Victor Osimhen working hard, pressing, winning balls, and then he can get latched onto second balls and score as well. So I wonder what your thoughts and opinions are in respect of who pairs with Victor Osimhen, and what formation would you want to go with? In the first set of videos, we looked at a 4-2-3-1, we looked at a 4-2-4. So what formation would you want to go with? So I think today I would like to look at a 4-3-3. I think that formation would work in treats, in my opinion, if that is what we choose to go for. So Uche Crisantos already, like I said, is in there. He himself, Samuel Chukwueze, and of course Tula Rokodare, that are all there. I think this boy goes straight into that midfield, right? Crisantos Uche goes straight into the midfield. This is not one of, this is World Cup Qualifier. He should just go right into the midfield because we've seen what he can do. We've seen power, we've seen pace, So he's got it all. He can score goals from midfield as well. So having him in there works a treat for me. If you go with whichever formation you play, if you're playing that 4-3-1-2, I will have him there. I'll have Rafael Onyedika, and I'll have him have Rafael Onyedika, and then maybe could have Wilfred Ndidi there as well, or maybe even have what's his name, Tom Dele Bashiru there, or Fisayo Dele Bashiru, have him in there in that midfield. So you have people who are super energetic and can go both ways, because I think this guy is a complete midfielder if you play him rightly. And I hope Eric Chelle, for whatever mad reason, isn't seeing him as a striker. Please, Mr. Chelle, Mr. Eric Chelle, please, he is a midfielder. So having him there, I think, would work. It treats whatever formation you're choosing to go with. So you can see how a full complement of players. Victor Osimhen also there, like we said in our video, shared the video as well. Tula Rokodare is here as well. So nice to see all these players on time in the camp. So question again, what formation do you think would be the best one? So I've got Tula Rokodare on here. I think he, like I said earlier on, he can be the guy to pair with Victor Osimhen, because African football has a lot of physicality to it as well. So I'm thinking maybe you go with, especially you need a win and you're playing this Rwandan side. They're going to sit deep. You know they're going to sit deep. They're going to wait for you to make mistakes and hit you on the break. For sure. So for me, I would like to go with Tula Rokodare and Victor Osimhen. This is purely my choice now. And Victor Osimhen, if you go with the two-man strike force, and then of course you play with Ademola Lookman on one side and Chukwueze on the other. Now, Nathan Tella, he hasn't really been impressive since he came in, since he joined the group. But to refer to him, he hasn't really played that many games. And in the Unity Cup, he was played out of position because that's a weird formation that Eric Chelle came up with. You know, he wants to have his wingers playing centrally, which is weird to me. Why would you want to have your wingers playing centrally? If you want to play a narrow 4-2-3-1, then go get yourself 3 10s, maybe a 1-area. You get maybe UOB gets for another 10, play 3 10s, actual 10s, as opposed to playing wingers out of position. So maybe you can say that as well. And then he had to pull out for family issues, or rather family reasons, you know, for a couple of international game cycles. So for me, he's not really proving himself that much. So maybe, and then as well, so Tolu Kodare for me would be the starting striker to pair up with Victor Osimhen, because Victor Osimhen, he just has to start. There's no question about that. He has to start. So let me know your opinions on who should start, what formation you look to go with. So let me know what your thoughts and opinions are. So like I said, today we'll be exploring formations. Looking at what formation to go with. So, and apparently today is our number 1 goalkeeper's birthday, Stanley Wabali. So happy birthday to him. Congratulations. Hope he has a very good celebration, maybe with his teammates. But for me, I look at him and say, okay, he's good and bad, I think. I think having a reliable goalkeeper like Stanley Wabali is good, both good and bad. Because when he's in the team, yes, he's good, you're excellent, you're happy, you're super confident. But then the next question is, when he is not there, how do we cope? Because right now, we're just relying on the fact that he will always be available, you know, because when you think of it, if he ever gets injured or he's suspended, maybe 2 yellow cards or something, or he's in the midst of negotiating a transfer and the coach has to leave him out to make sure he gets his transfer deal sorted out, who comes in? You know, I usually would say Noah Tubulu, but Noah Tubulu right now, the way he's posturing, it's kind of like he's leaning towards Germany. So NFL, I wonder how far they're going with that, getting him to play for the Nigerian Super Eagles. We're still waiting to see the outcome of that one. But on the other hand, you have Ato Okonkwo, who is there. He's ready. He's already made his nationality switch. So what else are you waiting for in that regard? You know, so we need to get another goalkeeper in the building, in my humble opinion. So let me know some opinions on that with respect to goalkeeper, in respect to who should start or who would be his second. I think that's the best way to put it. Who will be the second person, you know, or second choice goalkeeper? Because looking at the goalkeepers we have, I don't know if you're super confident. I'm not really super confident with respect to the goalkeepers. I'm not heavily confident. I want to know, are you confident? Who is the other person in that team that you look at and say, wow, I'm confident about this person, you know? So for me right now, back to this formation thing, I've looked at a 4-2-3-1 before. I've looked at a 4-2-4. Now let's look at a normal 4-3-3. How would it work if Eric Chelle decides to go with a normal 4-3-3? So let's have a quick look. So this is how I will set it up. Let me know what you think about it. So I don't know if you can see my screen, but let's go. So 4-3-3. At left back, for me, at left back, I will go with for this one, let's go Bruno Yemachi. Let's go Bruno Yemachi. Bruno Yemachi. And the back pairing, let's go with Trust Ekong. Now, I would like to say Fredericks, but I don't know if we have him on here. So if he's not on here in this tool I use, then I'll just leave him out there, but I'll just take the space to say Benjamin Fredericks. And then at right back, right now, Olaino. As I'll go, sorry, Bright, as I Samuel. Good, Olaino. And then for the two, what I say, I wouldn't call them deep line playmakers, but I'll call them more like the defenders who sit in front of the back four and progress the balls when they get the opportunity to. Rafa and Yelika for one of them. And then the other one, yes, you get it right, to be Crisantos Uche. Apologies if you're not seeing this. So Uche will be the next guy there. And then would have in the 10 row, we'll just say maybe we go with an Iwobi, right? We go with an Iwobi. Put him in the 10 right there. Because Eric Chelle loves him, so Eric Chelle likes to use him, so give him the 10 right there. And then of course on this side we'll go with Ademola Lookman, of course, no one else. Ademola Lookman. Lookman will play on that left side. Striker. Striker, of course, there's only one name. There's no experiments here. Osimhen. Osimhen. That's what we'll go with there. And then, of course, we would for this right wing, we'll go with Samuel Chukwueze, the new Fulham man. Samuel Chukwueze. That's what we'll go with. So done. So what do you think of the starting lineup if tomorrow the game, if rather on Saturday the game starts and this is the lineup you see? So apologies just to say the tool we're using right now doesn't recognize Stanley Wabali because of the club he plays in, and of course Benjamin Frederick because of the club he plays in as well, and when the transfers were made. So that's why his face not come up. So, but for the formation, we're going to 4-3-3. So typical 4-3-3. Bruno Yemachi on the left. Wonder what we think about that. Why I've gone with him is he can just absolutely run down that wings, run down that left wing, especially since you're playing with an inverted left winger, inverted 11. So you'll be looking for Lookman to invert and cut into midfield, invert and cut in towards the 18-yard box, looking to take shots, looking to give in-swinging crosses. So then open this channel here for Bruno Yemachi to overlap and put balls into the box. And then, of course, if the balls are coming to the box from here, you expect Chukwueze to making the runs towards the box. Having Victor Osimhen here, he will be making those late runs into the box. So that's why I've gone with him. So the same thing for Olai now as well. So Olai now, since he's here, he can make those runs down here as well, down this channel, putting the crosses into the box. With that, you have Bruno, you have Lookman also making these crosses in here, and Samuel Chukwueze either able to make those in-swinging crosses or take his man on and take shots as well from there. So that's what I've gone with that. And then I think it will be looking at the team that you have right now. He's about the only 10 of, although Fisa Edele Bashiru is a close one as well. So depends on what you want to get. If you want to go for that pure physicality, someone that can last shots from outside of the 18-yard box, then of course Fisa Edele Bashiru is your man. I think he has that enormous tank. Because Eric Chelle wants to play this high-octane football, and that means you have to have that stamina. And we know he has a lot of things, but he doesn't really have that much stamina when it comes to playing that way. And the weather is going to be searing hot, for this guy. So, but anyway, I've given him the start, and of course in midfield, for once, Nigeria, can we just forget everything about any kind of politics in terms of, he's just new to the team, he can't just start like that, he has to wait for his turn. No. If you see a player who's good, if you see a player who, more importantly, fits and suits the manager's style of play, then you play him. You just play him. So I don't see any excuses for that one. You play him, Rafael Onyedika, what he's done for Club Brugge, over the years, playing Champions League, and even when he's played, he's shown that, yeah, he can do it. And one thing I don't want to see is, I don't want to see Iwobi paired with Rafael Onyedika in this place. Because what you have is, you have Rafael Onyedika carrying the burden. Now, for me, it's not like Iwobi who don't want to walk. He would want to walk. He would want to put the pressure, he would want to run about. But the thing is, one, that is not his favorite position. Two, he would run out of gas very quickly. And that then put all the burden on Rafael Onyedika. So, and Christian Uche is a phenomenal midfielder. I'm happy now in the Premier League, so more people will get to see what I have been seeing and what I've been talking about, for those who may not be all too familiar, with his game. And so have him there, and then choose Ekong to provide leadership, and then you also have Benjamin Fredericks that'll sit here. For me, happy with that one, having him there. But the only thing that people might say, inexperienced and all that. But like I said, fair point has been made. You have Calvin Bassey out injured. With a suspension rather, hanging over his head. So do you want to take the risk? He can play the game and maybe not get a yellow card as well, but do you want to take the risk going into the game versus South Africa? So that game, both games are must win, but that game, you must win it. You must go to that game and take points off South Africa, not only because you get the 3 points, but that makes you get a better head-to-head than them. That's how I see it. So, and then of course, Stanley Wabali starts. So let me know some opinions on this sort of starting lineup that I have kind of gone with as an option. If Eric Chelle, were to go with the 4-3-3, what are your thoughts and opinions on this? Let me know what you think. So I'm going with 4-3-3, and then like we said, more players have joined the camp. Now you have, full complement of players. Demola Lookman is in the house. You've got Victor Osimhen already joined up. So that's good news for us. That's good news for us. But one question I want us to answer, and I hope this never happens. I hope in reality, in real life, we never ever get to answer this question. But who else after James Osimhen? Who else? Who is the guy? If James Osimhen is not there, it's one thing having James Osimhen there and then having someone that can partner with him in your Tula Rokodare, in your Cyril Dessas. But if for whatever reason he's not available, who else do you think can come in, and actually maybe not match him stylistically, but in terms of output, can match his output? Who else do you think can come in there? When I look at the strikers that we have available, even the ones that were not invited, look at Victor Boniface. Is he really a goal scorer that much? He will get you goals, but not really. You look at Tula Rokodare, really, he will get you goals, but is he really on that level to match a Victor Osimhen? So who else? What should Nigeria do? To look for other strikers, like young strikers coming up, Victor Rakpo, but let's see how he performs at Montpellier. There's George Lenny Kenna. For George Lenny Kenna right now, I'm thinking he needs to leave. He needs to leave Monaco because he's just not getting minutes. So you can be a striker, but if you get a level, you can play all the games in the season. But if every game you're playing 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 8 minutes, you can't really achieve much. You can't really show what you're all about in those games. So that's it. Nigeria also needs to start looking for another striking option. So let me know some opinions on that. If you're just joining the stream, we are talking about Nigeria, the Nigerian Super Eagles. We're talking about the World Cup qualifying games, game versus Rwanda, how Nigeria should approach it. I've talked about some tactics. Maybe go with the 4-3-3, where you have Bruno Yamacho as a left fullback. You have to Ekong and Benjamin Fredericks instead of Calvin Bassey because of his yellow card that's hanging over his head. get the second one and miss the South African game. I've got Olaina, I've gone Rafael Onyedika, Chrisantus Uche, I've gone Iwobi in the 10, I've gone Ademola Lookman out wide, on the left. I've got Samuel Chukwueze on the right. I've gone with Victor Osimhen, in that 9 role. So, are you happy with that one? Or what would you like to see yourself if Eric Chelle was to call and ask you what formation would you like to see them play? And then also, how do you think the team should approach that game? For me, I've said this again and again and again. I think I'll say it again. You need to be aggressive. You need to be positive on the front foot, because you waste time, you waste time, you're going to be lost. What we don't want is to allow the Rwandan side build confidence going into that game. As the game continues to progress, you don't want them to gain confidence. And how will they gain confidence? They will gain confidence if 20, 25 minutes into the game, you don't look threatening. Nigeria Super Eagles, don't look like how they can score. So you begin to give them confidence and they can sit back and defend. I am fully confident that South Africa will draw points. I'm confident. But the question is, when they do drop points, what would you be doing? That's the question. When they do drop points, what would you be doing? Would we be in the position where, we've got all 6 points and we're ready to take advantage and may not even need the point deduction? So that is very, very possible. They could drop points, but would we be there? Would the Nigerian Super Eagles be there, ready to take advantage? So that's the way I say it. Must take advantage of this game. Take advantage of this Rwandan side. They're at home. Don't start lax. And that's one of the reasons Nigeria drew that game with Zimbabwe, because, we had chances. We could have scored. We didn't score until we got 1 goal. And that's how it stood, 1-0. And with 1-0, anything can happen. You can get a penalty against you. You could get, a lucky goal, deflection of someone, and then it's all square. That game, you need to start on the front foot. That game, you need to see, I think for me, you need to see 2 strikers starting. That's what I'm looking at. You need to see 2 strikers starting. Just like we finished the game, you need to see 2 strikers in the game. And I know in my second lineup, I'd go with Benjamin Fredericks alongside William Troost-Ekong. So, how do you rate this player? How do you rate Benjamin Fredericks? Right? How do you rate it? For me, I think he was really, really nice and tidy. In my opinion, I think it was nice and tidy in the game, in the Unity Cup game. So, really happy with that performance, and I think if he has earned the spot on the team, if he's given a chance, I think he will do well. But I want to know, what do we all think about that game? I think about him starting here. You can see him, sort of maybe taking instructions from Eric Chelle. So that's good to see. But what do you think about him starting? Do you think it's too soon? Do you think well and truly he can take advantage of it? For me, I just feel at some point, Nigeria and Nigerian Super Eagles should give, or shouldn't be afraid to give opportunities to young players to start games. We hear enough excuses as it is. We hear enough excuses from people, either saying the player isn't good enough, he's too young, and things like that. So, but for me, I'm of the mindset that when the player got to this level, he should be good enough to start some games. And what other game can he start apart from this game versus South Africa? What other game can he start? Apart from this game versus Rwanda. So I'm feeling that, given that yellow card thing for Calvin Bassey, he should start. But then again, if Eric Chelle wants to go with tried and trusted, go with Calvin Bassey and William Troost-Ekong, then that's fine by me. It's not the worst decision in the world. But still, I just feel like the game versus Rwanda, that's a game that maybe he can take his opportunity, can be his chance, because the game versus South Africa, I think that game will be very combustible, and I'm not quite sure if he'll be ready for that sort of pressure, in my opinion. But let's see how it all shakes down with respect to Benjamin Fredericks. So let me know your thoughts and opinions on the team, on Eric Chelle, how you see everything panning out. What sort of formation would you like the Super Eagles to play, or how you want to see the team set up going into that game? For me, I've said my piece on that one. Any formation you want to play, any way you want to play, you must start aggressively, in my humble opinion. So at this point, we'll be going for a very, very brief break, and then we'll be back here to continue the discussion. And hopefully, you stay with us. Don't go anywhere. We're back. We're back. We're back. Nice. Thanks for waiting. For those who waited. So we're talking about World Cup qualifiers. Talking about Nigerian Super Eagles going into the game on Saturday versus Rwanda. How do you see the team setting up? What sort of formation do you want to see the Super Eagles employ, Eric Chelle employ, going into that game? Are you super confident? How are you feeling? For me, I am super excited about that game. I'm super confident as well that Nigeria can get all 3 points versus Rwanda. I've talked about a starting lineup for the game, looking at a 4-3-3. I think that could work well as well. Use the natural flank that Nigeria we're used to. I don't look man on one side, Samuel Chukwueze on the other. So I want to know your thoughts and opinions about that. And then, of course, I was asking the question, what do you think is the natural success of Victor Osimhen if he's not there for whatever reason? Because this Nigeria could maybe have a knock, have suspension or something. So who do you think is the next guy that can actually replace him? Because Tularo Kudare is good, but it's more of someone I see. If he pairs alongside Victor Osimhen, then of course he would shine very well. But playing alone, leading the attack alone, I think the team would have to play slightly differently to suit him, in my opinion. So Dessers as well is a good finisher, but then again, the team would have to play in a slightly different way, be better on the ball, have very good 10 that can create those opportunities, for him. So I want to know those opinions on that one. And then as well, I think, this is a good time for us to remind ourselves of the state of the group standings. So I'll share my screen again and I will have, a look. Group standings, Nigeria sits. When this group was first released, I wasn't thinking this was going to be what's going to be the case. I wasn't thinking this at all. I wasn't thinking this in the slightest. Because, South Africa, 13 points, Rwanda, 8 points, Benin, 8 points, Nigeria 7. So the way it stands right now, that means we just have there's no room for excuses. There's no room for excuses in this game. Nigeria must go into this game and actually win both games. Because if you win both games, you win the first game, you get 10 points. So immediately you jump into top 3. Because Rwanda, that means I've lost and they've dropped out. And then you go on to be maybe let's say South Africa have won their game. If South Africa have won their game, and that means you're still 6 points behind. They'll be on 16. We'll be on 10. So you go to South Africa, you win, and you be on 13, they'll be on 16. So it's a 3 points gap. That then becomes anyone's game, so to speak. But if South Africa drops 2 points, say they draw their game versus Lesotho and drop 2 points, and that just even makes it more important that Nigeria wins the game, versus Rwanda. So that would give us initial 3 points, take it up to 10, and then it will keep South Africa at 14. So it'll be 4 points gap, and then you win the game versus South Africa. That means that then means that then means you are 1 point behind them. So if they drop points, you're 4 points behind them. If you win that game, you're 1 point behind them, and then it means it's anyone's game. So when this group was first announced, I felt like, come on, even South Africa, that the kind of second strongest team in this group, but still the gap between Nigeria and South Africa very wide. But as I say, football is not played on paper, it's not played on social media. But overall, I think if Nigeria really goes into this game with seriousness and the right mindset, this is a game that Nigeria can win 110%. So for me, it's just about the approach going into that Rwandan game. And I think what's important is the Super Eagles of Nigeria should not have their focus, should not look too far, right? They shouldn't be looking at the game and thinking about, we already passed these guys. Let's look at South Africa. When the South African games comes around, we'll take care of them. But for now, focus should be had on, should be had on the Rwandan game. So I really want to get your feedback on this 4-3-3 starting lineup, on the players who are in the camp. I want to get your feedback. I want to know what you think, about this. And also, if you would like to join this video and let's have a discussion one-on-one. Feel free, the link to the call or rather the link to the video is in the chat, so you can click and join. It maybe it's difficult for you to find, I will drop it in there again, so you can just click and join. So I'll just drop it in here again. If you haven't seen it, it's there. You can click and join, and we can have that, sort of discussion. Just also what I've been saying in previous videos is, with this channel, we want to build a community of people, that want to grow sports, that want to grow. Jerry, okay, let me see where you are. Okay, come on, and let's hear what you think. You're welcome, Jerry.
Hey, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, I just wanted to ask some few questions. I will also contribute. But do we have any update on the 3-point deduction from FIFA? You remember they said South Africa played
Mofuena, yeah.
Yeah. Is there any because that changes a lot?
Yeah, it does. I just hope that we're not going to get any bout of Africanism happening. Because we haven't heard anything. All we've been hearing is it's looming, it will soon happen. What I don't want to happen is we hear suddenly a fine, we want to fine South Africa, I don't know, $200,000 or something, or $20,000, and then that's it. Because it's really, really important, one, for the confidence of the players, going into the game. Because if you go into that game, if you go into the games of South Africa, you know that, okay, there are less 3 points, right? You're super confident going to that game, believing that, okay, you win Rwanda, they have just 3 points ahead of you, you win them, and then you're now level on points, with them. So, but what I also wanted to say, and I want to hear what you think about it as well, I just feel like, irrespective of the points deduction, Nigeria should take that game with the same objective of getting 6 points from both games. Because I just have a feeling that South Africa may drop points in the game that we have to play, or at some point, and we just have to be there to take advantage of it.
Yes, we have to take care of what we have to take care and hope that, because I don't want us to even think of playoffs. No. Because if you look at the other groups, their second place, we are the worst second place group in the whole thing. So anybody thinking second place, I mean, there are teams that are second place. They have 13 points right now in the other groups. So the only way is to win the group.
Yeah, that's the only way, because there are some teams, if you take their second place person would lead this group.
Exactly. It's like we're the worst. So I don't want us to even think second place. But I have concerns about our defense.
Okay.
I have big concerns. Like we have issues towards the end of games. It's like we lose concentration. I mean, I like this econ. I can't. But so maybe it's injury, maybe it's getting up in age. Because the last 2 goals we considered, it was through him. I'm sorry. I know people like him, but there seems to be like towards the end of games, we just lose concentration.
Yeah, I think there's one thing that I would like to know your opinion on this as well. There is something I think Nigeria has lacked over time, and that is affecting the national team right now. That's why we lose games come the end of games, right? Towards the end of games. So when we talk about position wingers, a lot of wingers. Anywhere you look, there's a wing. There are multitudes of wingers, right? When you look at strikers, big, powerful, pacey strikers with powerful shots, we have them. Fullbacks, we have center backs. We produce a lot of center backs, but when it comes to those players, those conductors, right, that can hold the ball, pop it about, control the pace of the game, we really don't have those sort of players. And I think that's what affects Nigeria in games, especially that game. William 2 seconds, of course, he's getting on in age, so that may be a part of it as well. But I think we lack that person that can control the game, like your Pirlo type person. And the only person that comes close, that has that ability, right now, he has not really been invited. I don't even know if he'll be ever invited, maybe next year or something. Is Ebenezer Kinsimiro. Some people might say he's a young player, but he may be say struggling at his club. But when you look at profile, right, he's someone that can come in. Maybe you don't start him. Maybe you bring him on 25 minutes, 20 minutes, and he holds the ball, pops it about. Okay, rather than hitting that long ball, hold it, drop it to the defenders, and then drop it about. And then as well, one other thing, because if you watch that goal against Zimbabwe, Wilfred Ndidi he made a huge mistake. Huge mistake. That mistake is what has given me sleepless nights. He left the man he was tracking because he was tracking the runner going into the box. He was tracking the runner. He left the runner and went to meet the winger that had two men on him already. So when the pass came in, it was there with just echo. So for me, I know.
Do you think it's a coaching problem to make adjustment, like end game situations? Like even our coach, why bring in Victor Boniface towards the end of the game? What we can just pack the defense? Like usually, what do we need Victor Boniface towards the end of the game for? Because once Osimhen left the game, you can see how the game changed. So they're having confidence. They were scared of him.
That's it. Because one, you're scared of Victor Osimhen's pace. Because Victor Osimhen is a player I would call a monster in a very good way. It's a player I would call a spirit, just like DJ Drogba for who are Chelsea fans. And then what he did for Ivory Coast, someone that on his own, one is on that pitch, the opposition defense are terrified. You can't play with a high line with Victor Osimhen playing up against you, because he will run, he will press, he will make your life uncomfortable. Plus, he has the pace. So if that ball goes in behind and you're high up, you're done. You're never going to catch him. So you have that. And then I think at some point, if you want to, let's say, oppress a side like what they call the face, like Rwanda with attackers, start that way. Start that way. When you scored your goals, maybe you bashed them 3-0, 2-0, whatever, 5-0. Then when the game is about to end, you then begin to make your substitutions, your tweaks. Midfielder that can come in, control the game, sit in front of the back four, close things out. I know in his head, in his mind, what he's thinking is, oh, I love to win, attacking football, let's attack. But at some point in the game, what you have, you hold, So I think can be a coaching problem as well, because even in the CHAN, in the even in the CHAN competition, right? The way he was playing, he kept Anas on the bench, who was the highest goal scorer in the MPFL. He kept him on the bench, played some other people, came up with one weird formation. Even in Unity Cup, he had Chukwueze and Teller, who are wingers, playing like 2 10s behind the striker. So sometimes I just feel like he overcomplicates things.
Yeah,
overcomplicates things.
And I feel bad for Lukman. I think we are wasting his talent.
Yeah,
because it doesn't get supplied. Like I know he likes to press, but I think it's because he's doing too much for little results. Yeah. Like nobody supplies him those. I mean, look at him and Kvaratskhelia when he was playing in and Lobotka when he was playing with Napoli.
Yeah,
they made his life easy. Easy runs, they get into, but we don't supply him. He has to drop back all the time. To even consider but then move, it's unfair to the guy. He's being overworked.
So for me, I think it's that midfield problem. That midfield problem. That's why for me, I'm still, because he has not yet. I don't think he was even invited this time by England, but it's a midfield problem we have. One, that 10. Well, we really need a 10.
Don't we have anybody out there? that we don't know, because they, I mean, I only say it's now French, now it's gone some, but don't we have anybody in Europe that maybe it's not like, maybe it's half Nigerian, or that can just.
Ite is there. Ite is there.
Why didn't they play him then?
I don't know why they've not made moves to invite him yet. He's there. Ite is there. England haven't invited him yet for their own World Cup. This thing, he's there. He's not been invited. He is someone that Nigeria should be working on.
Let's see what he has. Let's just try him out. Let's see what he has.
Because that 10 area, you see other areas I mentioned, fullback will always produce tons and tons of fullbacks, always. Wingers, strikers, pace, power, always. When it comes to that 6 that can control games like Perlo, hold the ball, distribute it, not that much. Then when it comes to 10, not that much. So if in one area I would have felt like you have that kind of player, he's still between England and Nigeria, hasn't committed yet to either. Is one person you could have gone for, did everything, even if you want to fly the whole Nigeria Sports Commission there and speak to him and say, okay, we want you to be part of this. So people might say, oh, you want to beg player. It's not begging. Every country does it. US, they do it. Once we had Belgium and Greece fighting over a 17-year-old player. You know, he had played some games for Belgium under 17. We were fighting for his signature. He ended up now playing for Greece, playing for their first team. So I feel when areas you really, really lack, he can be somebody that can play that 10. And when you have that, it's free. And then also in the midfield, that's why I say Ebenezer Kinsimiro, why I call him is that there's no excuse. You won't say, oh, we need to convince him his Nigerian nationality he has. You know, you don't need to convince anything. You invite him, he's there. So that kind of people that can really be on the ball, help pop the ball about late in games, help you control games. You know, I don't want Lookman is working hard too much. And
yeah.
Go on.
Thank you for bringing in the Lookman thing, because I read this morning that he might not be starting.
Mm-hmm.
That they're thinking of Dresser. So, do you with all this, what is going on with him mentally? Do you think he's even?
That's another point, another part of it. And people who have been watching me on this channel, I've done some transfer news talk, and one thing I kept on saying, I want all Nigerian players to make their moves. Make their transfer moves, and then, you know, by the time World Cup qualifier comes around, you know, by the time AFCON itself, you know, comes around, everyone is in the right headspace, because we are fans. We look at it as, you know, football. We want to chant, we want to be happy, we want to be excited, we want to celebrate. But sometimes these players, if where you get your daily bread from is not sure, it's not certain, it can't be in that absolute good frame of mind. So I think maybe that could be something that could affect him. But I just hope that keeping him on the bench doesn't even make him even more, what I say, disorientated, or make the situation worse. So I think that's something the coach has to.
Because he is the current, and maybe people don't know, he's the current African footballer, and you can't get a club. It's mind-boggling. I don't know who the agent is to have messed that up.
See, and when you look at what he earns, right? For me and you, what he earns is mad money. But when you look at what he earns, is it 40-odd thousand euros a week, right? And that is it 44 or something. So let's say 45,000 euros a week. That's not really crazy money in footballers' world. I think these agents, a lot of problems that these agents have is that I don't think they really read through agreements. Because for me, see, this concept of gentleman's agreement, it doesn't exist. You know, it doesn't exist. If a club president, a club CEO is serious about anything, it will be in the contract. When they want to have their buyout clause, their release clause, buyout clause of 100 million euros. It's always in the contract. You never hear buyout clause is gentleman agreement. We agreed 100 million euros gentleman agreement. It's always in the contract, and that's one thing I feel a lot of these agents don't really take seriously. And I think our players, some of them, they really need re-education on some things, because there are different clauses that should be in a contract that a lot of these players don't even know, because they obviously, rightfully so, they trust their agent. All right, agent, you're the one skilled in this area, really take care of the agreement for me and all that. But I think we need to get, because a lot of our players have missed out on moves. Victor Osimhen missed out on his own. He missed out his own. Then with Napoli, people talked about a lot of things. Ademola Lookman, he had an agreement with them, but the CEO of Atalanta said the agreement they had was for only clubs outside of Italy, outside of the Serie A. So any club making an offer that is in the Italian Serie A it has to be a different thing that they will agree on. Now, if it was in the contract, it wouldn't have been a problem. The advice I'll give to any player is, if you're coming to maybe a year or two to the end of your contract, what I'll do is I'll say, I want to renew my contract. I'll take a pay cut, 50% pay cut, and then I will include a ridiculously low buyout clause or release. Buyout clause.
Let me add one more thing before. Let me add one more thing, because maybe people have not said it, but I will say it. Akwa Ibom has not really been a place that I can say. I don't know what happened to Lagos where we don't have any. The crowd in Akwa, then there is not. When you play in some areas in Super Eagles, there's this confidence that the team has, that they feed off the crowd. But the Akwa Ibom energy, I don't know what it is. It's just not. It's not. Chilled. I don't know. It's too laid back.
It's too chilled and laid back.
I don't know what it is. Like, I remember when you watched Nigeria in Lagos back there. Even the crowd, they would tell you that the people are scared to come and play in Lagos. Or even Abuja. But I don't know what it is. Maybe I don't. Honestly, I am not confident with this. I'm being honest. I am scared, because if we mess this one up, we are done.
No, any drop in points is curtains. Any drop in points is over. Let's use the rest of the game as pre-tournament preparation for AFCON. Because it's done. If you drop points, any dropping of points is done. For me, I think another thing that will make life easy is Eric Chelle, because there's something he did in the game versus Rwanda and Zimbabwe that I didn't see the point of. I don't know. I would like to get what you think about it. Right? He played Olayano at left back. Played Osai Samuel at right back. Whilst you had Bruno Yemachi available, who is the main left back. So I don't get the point of playing players out of position. But this time around, there's even lesser excuse.
What was it? Sometimes, what was he trying to achieve? Even now, I still don't understand the move. Let people play their natural position, for God's sake.
I don't like, even in modern day football now, it's like what we have, we don't have coaches in it. We have revolutionaries, people that each time they come in, they want to be like, I changed the game. He was a striker before, I made him into a goalkeeper. And look at how phenomenal he is as a goalkeeper. He was a right back, I made him into a midfielder. Because look at what a club like Chelsea and a club like Man City, or clubs like Man City and Chelsea, what they do: carry fullback, invert input to midfield. I don't get the joy. I don't get the benefit, from playing players. I don't get it. Just play players in their normal position, and then let's attack the game that way. So for me, that's what I just feel. If you start these players in their rightful position, at least that. Okay, go ahead, go please.
I wanted to one general question, please.
Yeah.
the it's like we had Eric Chelle help out with the African thing. You see that we don't have any play because I follow some clubs in Nigeria. I watch them on YouTube, and
Mhm.
they have fantastic players. I mean, fantastic players. Like they supply. I'm like, but where do you think the disconnect is? Is it the NFL or the coaching that don't scout enough? Just to, back in the day, the way to have look at team A, team B, team, like they will mix it together. So why don't we have that pipeline anymore?
I think,
That's not. Let's even look at you to see what you have to play.
yeah, I think the first, there's a lot of politics that goes on when it comes to picking players from the MPFL for one, because even Anas, when we are saying we are going to go with, we are going to have a lot of home-based players in the Unity Cup, right? So you're expecting if you're going to get home-based players, those home-based players will be the best from the MPFL. But Anas, who had scored, was it 18 goals or so? He was not invited for that Unity Cup. Then we had Sikiru Alimi. We had Sikiru Alimi that had scored, was it 3 goals or 4 goals and 1 assist, something ridiculously low like that. So all in all, whether 5 goal contributions, he was invited instead. So that was a bit strange for me. That why are you not going with the best of the best? So you look at it. There's a lot of politics that sort of go on, and I feel like we are not obsessed. That Nigeria isn't obsessed with winning that much. That's why I can afford to take the risk of inviting players that are not the absolute best. Because this is why I feel the best way to market MPFL is to come with the absolute best players from the league, the highest goal scorer, the best left back, the best midfielder, and things like that. So I think that is the problem. That obsession with winning is the problem. So I think there's a comment
I
here.
have been suggesting that we should have friendlies, international friendlies, not just all this rugby. Maybe England or Brazil, and use your own base. Let's see what we have with the best. Just put them out there. Let's see. You
Yeah.
never know. You have breakout stars. Let's see what they have.
Exactly, because
And honestly, to tell you, if you qualify, I don't think is the man for the job. I'm just gonna say that. I don't think I'm not comfortable with him taking us to the World Cup if we qualify.
Okay.
I am not comfortable with him.
Okay, I'll read one comment from the chat, and then I'll want to know what you think about it, and then I'll pose a question to you, because what you've said now, there's a question I'll pose to you. So Kelvin Marvel has said rather, the team was not selected by Eric Chelle. So what do you think about that? Do you think there's validity to that?
Okay, the one that played the African stuff, but he took over the reins, right?
Yeah, he took over the reins.
So what did you do tactically? What did you do? That's the thing. Okay, even what they've given to you, how did you? You see, is the managing of the thing that is even one of the issues that I have with Eric Chelle.
Yeah,
it's how you manage what you have.
Exactly. Like I said it during the game versus what they call them now. I said in the game, the Unity Cup game. I said in the Rwandan game, what we played in Rwanda, and I said it against Zimbabwe as well. Like, what's Olaina doing at left back? Olaina is, I would say, is looking at it. He should be at least top 3 best right backs in the world. I'm not even exaggerating, because let's go through it. Who maybe Hakimi? Who else am I talking about? Maybe Rhys James. Who else are we going for? Trent. Trent isn't even a very good right back when it comes to defending. On the ball, yes, he's good on the ball. 100%, he's good. But when it comes to defending, not that great. Olaino is better than him, both ways, attacking, defending. So why are you playing him out of position? Just play him in his regular position. You've got Bruno Onyemachi there, who can play that left back. Now you have two. And Felix Agu, I don't think it's even a drop off from Bruno Onyemachi. You have two. So going into this game, I don't want to see any crazy excuse of, I want to do this tactical switch. I'm bound to play right back at left back. Now, I want to ask you this question. You said something about even if Nigeria qualify for the World Cup, he's not the man for the job. But what if, knock on wood, Nigeria doesn't qualify for the World Cup? So that means automatically you have the mindset that he should be sacked.
What are we waiting for? I mean, but the AFCON is coming up.
Yeah, it's coming up. Yeah.
So I don't know if our team not qualifying for the World Cup, the energy, the drive will be there, or they will go all out to prove a point. So it could go either ways, but I just don't feel, there's this presence as a manager. It's not even about coaching. Sometimes it's just your presence, the way there's this aura that you have as a coach that permeates the team. People just feel that okay, somebody is coaching, like I said, it's like a Pep Guardiola or somebody. Just the fact this man is at the sidelines. It is very, very impactful on a team's confidence.
Yeah.
But when somebody loses a goal or they miss a chance, it will just follow. It will just kneel down. It's too demonstrative. Like that, calm down. Calm down. The guy will be sweating. Like
he's sweating. His head is on fire. His head is always frying something.
Yeah, like calm down. Yeah, calm down.
Someone here said about home base. You talked about home base. Kevin Marvel says, no, please. Same home base played against Mexico years back, and we were smashed 4 goals.
So Kevin has no faith. He has no
faith. He has no faith in the home base. For me, the problem with I think it's twofold, right? Look at the job beyond limits. The people like Beyond Limit, Valiant, Sporting Lagos, the job they do with bringing up these young players. How come MPFL teams don't have that pathway? For instance, Eric Chelle, although he's gone to Norway now, on loan to Mjøndalen from Lillestrøm, right? How come that Remo Stars didn't have a pathway for someone like him to have gained promotion, and like you see how maybe Karen George gained promotion through Chelsea ranks to the first team? How come there's no way for him to gain promotion to that Remo Stars first team, and play there? Some of all the best talents now, the way all these European clubs do, they don't even go to the MPFL teams anymore. They go to these grassroots academies and sign players, and that's it.
So, my own vision for Nigerian Premier League is complete. I've always said, let me give you an example of what the Nigerian League should be. Just give me 30 seconds. There was a game that 2 years ago or 3 years, I think 3 years ago, Enugu Rangers played the impact. Did you see that match? It's on YouTube.
Okay.
Go and watch the crowd. The stadium was filled to. That is a right. You know how they create rivalries in the Premier League, where people should be showing up in their local jerseys, like the way you will hype that thing up to make it a thing. Okay, but we don't have the name brand is Enugu Rangers itself is a brand.
Yeah,
it's a huge brand. Enyimba is a brand.
For me, okay, go on.
You don't hype these things up. So if I say Enyimba is playing QSC or they are playing 3 stars in Ibadan, like the way you hype it up. So when the interest is there, when I'm watching on TV and the crowd is, that match. That day when I saw that match, I'm like, is this Nigeria? Not like of the culture of play, but the way the crowd was engaged in the match. It was like I was watching like a Serie A match. It was intense.
Yeah, for me, after this, when it comes to Nigeria are already a football mad country, that is clear. Like when clubs like your Premier League club, Arsenal, Chelsea, whichever club you support, when they go on US tours, people wake up 12 a.m. 1 a.m., wake up 4 a.m. to watch those teams play. So the passion is there. The willingness to watch these games, of course, is there. But it's just how the team has been structured, and how players are not properly compensated. So for me, the way I feel, this is my own 2 cents about how the league can be changed or worked on or whatever. Hire what you don't have. Because when it comes to like commercializing the league and branding it, it's almost like MPFL and LMC, League Management Company, they don't know what they're doing. So you could go out there, not on a charity mission, but on a pure business commercial mission. Is it Clear Lake? Is it a Red Bull Group? People who are used to investing in football. You get them and say, we are having this purely capitalistic, not charity, you're donating. No. They are going to get something, you're going to get something. Maybe they get TV rights, they get, maybe naming rights of some of the teams in the league, things like that. Let them manage this thing in terms of the commercial aspect, how to brand, project the league, and all that. And you as an FA, you as the MPFL, you provide referees, officials, and those type of things. And you let them do what they're very good at. Because
the way they had in the 70s with all these 11Ts and all this. I mean,
yeah.
Dangote, why can't you give Dangote?
Look at Dangote. Dangote wants to buy Arsenal for.
But you can't have local club. We can buy the Dangote.
When you can basically have like a license agreement for the entire league for maybe, would I say, 2 million?
It's from Kano, right?
Yeah.
It's from Kano, right? Then that football club, is it El Caneme or the one in Kano? Kano Pillars.
Kano Pillars, yeah.
Give him Kano Pillars, buy Kano Pillars, and make it a Dangote whatever, and have MTN should have one, Glo should have one. So when these companies compete, because the best club is Remo Stars. It's owned by private. It's not government owned. Yeah, it's privately owned.
Clubs will never work if you continue having them as government owned, entities. So I think Kelvin is still piping on. Is still piping on his own business.
Kevin and Eze, those two, they have given up on that.
Even Mourinho will fail with that team.
Thanks for having me, man.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming on. You're welcome. So anyone that wants to join, please, you can click the link is there. So the Chan team, none is under 35 years. So Eze says there is no point talking about home base for now. Let them play the MPFL and watch the Super Eagles from the screen. That's all. The Super Eagles should keep watching foreign talent. The Super Eagles should keep watching foreign talents. Now, the thing for me about foreign talents, I don't even really care as far how dare you get foreign talents. Countries all over the world, as long as a player can play for them and is good enough, whether he's dual national or mono national or singular national, they go and they get these players and the players come and perform. That's it. So you get the best of the best. If you have players who have grown through the grassroots, gone abroad and doing well, get them in. If you get dual nationals who are doing well, who you can convince to play for the Super Eagles, get them in there. So because at the point you're looking at winning. So Eze says the local-based players are not ready. The boys that went to Chan just shut down the chances totally. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised no one was considered for that one preliminary list. So that's the catch-22, right? The best place to market home-based players is when you have a friendly match. You have this Chan. I think that's the reason, rationale behind Chan. The rationale behind Chan was that, okay, when it comes to World Cup, when it comes to AFCON qualifiers, the foreign-based players dominate the scene. So let's have this competition where our own home-based players can play. It's only for them. Now, for you to make them shine in those sort of games, you pick the best out of the best of the best. from your league. So that when Nigerian fans watch them play, when international fans, scouts or whatever watch them play, say, oh, these players are good. That means there must be, good. There must be good players in the Nigerian Premier Football League. But when you now go on to bring the would I say the worst of the worst from the league, when people look at them, they say, oh, this is not good enough. It's not good enough. So I think the league should be taken away from club ownership, I think from government ownership, because government ownership just spoils the thing. Because when you know that your existence does not, the existence of the club is not based on the revenue you raise by your own hard work, that government can just keep giving you money. The governor can approve a budget, 50 million. There's no incentive to push that team. And it's sad because you've got the best of the best. As in, Nigeria is a football mad country, always looking for where to watch football. I tell you, if today you have Real Madrid and Chelsea playing some sort of weird friendly match, people will watch it. People will watch it. So it's not like people don't like to watch it. It's just that people get tired of how the league is run. For me, just get companies that are in the business of investing in football. Newco, Clear Lake, Red Bull Group, have a proper partnership with them, not a charity thing. Proper partnership. So that's how I say it. So how we all doing? And if you just join in, I looked at a different formation as well for today, because until we get to that game, I'll be looking at different formations. I'll put it up on my screen. Look at a 4-3-3 formation going into the game versus Rwanda. I want to get your opinion on what you think about it. If you think it's going to work, if you think it's not going to work. So I'll just share my screen in minutes. So big thanks, Jerry. Big thanks, Jerry, for coming on. And I'd like to see you come more times, if you can. So this information I've gone with. So using this platform I'm using doesn't get South African players, so playing in South African league. So we can't get Wabali to show up here. But he is the goalkeeper here. And then going for Bruno Yemachi at left back. Kelvin in your right. He's super powerful, pacey. He has the energy to go box to box two-way. And then, of course, we've got Ekong here. William to Ekong. He starts. Wanted to go with Calvin Bassey, but he's on the yellow card, so want to keep him nice and fresh for the South African game. And we are hoping that we'll have more than enough in the offensive third against Rwanda. So Benjamin Fredericks will start here. Olaino at right back. This right back, whichever one, but he's at right back, and Bruno Yemachi at left back. So at right back, Olaino will start at right back, because I just think he is the best right back. Not only the best right back in Nigeria, I think he should be top 3, top 4 best right backs in the world, in my opinion, if you look at it really closely. You look at Christian Uche, I'll go with him, and I'll go with Rafael Onyedika, because they both have legs, they both have energy, and they can create, they can take shots, long range shots from outside. So go with their two, and that will sort of give Iwobi a level of freedom to play in the 10 row. I know a lot of you who have been watching me on this channel will begin to feel like I'm becoming soft on Iwobi, but based on the players called, who else are you going to play in the 10 row? If you play Ademola Lookman there, you take something from him. If you play Nathan Teller there, I'm not super confident he can really play in that 10 row. That will be playing him out of position. And then, of course, start with Victor Osimhen in the 9 position, and Ademola Lookman wide on the left, and Samuel Chukwueze wide, on the right. Both inverting towards goal. Olaino overlapping, Bruno Yemachi overlapping as well to give that width. So for me, just keep it simple, and I think Nigeria should be able to get that win versus Rwanda. So let me know your thoughts and opinions on this starting lineup. So local-based players are not ready. The boys that went to, we've seen that before. Okay, can we go back to traditional 4-4-2? All right. I think that's a good shout. So, Kelvin Marvel, you say you disagree with this selection. What would you go with then? What would you go with? Let's hear it. Calvin, can you come on screen? Or larger, can we go back to our traditional 4-4-2? Yeah, that would be a good shout as well. You go with Aroko Dare and Victor Osimhen leading the line. I think that would not be the worst in the world. And then maybe still Rafael Onyedika and Uche and Santos Uche in the midfield. And does that mean Adema Lukman will be a bit withdrawn and be an orthodox left-sided midfielder, or you go on the other side and be orthodox left-sided, right-sided midfielder, and then you have Chukwueze on the other side being a left-sided midfielder, or you go with a 4-2-4, which is essentially a more attack-minded 4-4-2, which is a more crazy 4-4-2. So Kevin Marvel, you say you disagree with this selection. What would you go with? So let me be behind the scenes now. I'll be working on a 4-4-2 formation. Let's see how that would work out. I'll work on the 4-4-2 formation, go with 4-4-2. Thankfully, that's what the system has brought up. We'll go with 4-4-2 formation. And then that will then mean I'll still go with Bruno Onyemachi. I'll still go with Bruno Onyemachi for this one. Bruno Onyemachi. And then center back. I'll go with Trust Ekong. And then Benjamin Fredericks will be in that center back position. So not there. Ola right back. And then if you're going for that, if you're going with, so does that mean we are going with Chukwueze? We're going with that typical 4-4-2. That means you're going with Chukwueze as that left-sided guy, because you're expecting them to cross balls, to bring the balls into the box, as opposed to being sort of forwards. And Adema Lukman on the other side. Lukman there. And then, of course, the midfield will still remain the same, in my opinion. I think the midfield will still go with Onyedika. You still go with Rafael Onyedika. And then Santos Uche. And when it comes to the attack, then go with Victor Osimhen. Of course, Victor Osimhen must start. There's no question about that one. Then so we go with Serie Desas or Tula Rokodare. I'll go with Tula Rokodare because we want that physicality. So this is what we'll go with. So this is what we've come up with if you're going with a 4-4. If you're going with this flat 4-4-2. So as it says, I think, so I'll share this on the screen. I'll put this on the screen so you can see it. So Kevin has gone. I think for me, I will bring Chukwueze to the 10-row position. The 10 row, Iwobi will play on the right flank. He will be on right flank. Ekong at right back. Eze, do you want us to qualify for this World Cup? Ekong at right back. William, choose Ekong at right back. No. Ekong at right back is going to be a disaster. Because first off, he's getting old. Even when he was younger, he wasn't even super quick. He wasn't super quick. Chukwueze in the 10 role, and I think that is still playing him out of position. So if you play Iwobi out wide, just taking away width. You're taking away that width and pace down that side, in my opinion anyway. Ekong at right back is what I look at. I just think that, no. Okay, Benjamin will pair. Kevin has joined, so let me add you here. So what I'll do with this now? Okay, I will close this down. So nice to have you on, Kevin. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Very good evening.
Good evening. You're welcome.
Good.
So you say you disagree with the
Thank you so
starting
much.
lineup?
Absolutely, really.
Okay. So which areas do you disagree with? What would you go with?
Yeah.
What would you rather go with?
Just let's start with the back line.
Okay. That's one
Really, sir.
second. So you're still going with the
Adu is
4-4-2?
missing.
You're still going with the 4-4-2?
Back.
I say, are you still going with the 4-4-2 as well, or something different? 4-3-3?
No, the formation is good.
Okay.
I love the setting. The settings is good.
Okay.
Okay, but
Okay.
the selection is very bad. There's
Okay.
some areas need to be adjusted. Like at the left back, I prefer
Okay.
Felix Agu than Bruno.
Okay. So left back, let's go Felix Ago. Okay. We got Felix Ago there. Then center back. Mm-hmm. The center back again we choose Ekong or okay, he dropped out. He dropped out. Okay. Okay. So chat here. Tochi Dan. Why not? Daniel. Why not with respect to Ekong at right back? Ekong is sorry, Kevin has dropped off. Hopefully he can join us back. But Ekong at right back, that would be bad. That would just be bad. I don't know if that's what you're reacting to. So okay, that's fine. That's fine. Or what you can do is you can drop it in the chat. Yeah, you can drop it in the chat and then I'll pick it up from there and put it there. So sorry, apologies for your network. Sorry. So Tochi Dan, what I don't know what you're disagreeing. What you're disagreeing with? 3-3-3-1 or 3-2-3-2. Okay, so you got three center backs. Are you are you playing starting with a four at the back and then one fullback inverting to midfield, and then let's see if we can conjure that from anywhere. Let's see if we can conjure that from anywhere. 3-3-3-1. Let's see how that will look. 3-3-3-1. So essentially, you're going with three center backs, and then let's just see. Let's just see how this is going to work. Okay. So who would you have in that formation? Who would you have there? If you're going with 3-3-3-1, maybe then, of course, I'll start with the tried and trusted position that I know would always be the same thing because Victor Osimhen will start this one for sure. There's no argument about that. So then you now maybe have your Ademola Lookman. You have Ademola Lookman if you're going with this one. Tochi Dan. So this is your formation. You go with that, and then on this other side, you go with Chukwueze. Made his move to Fulham. Good move for the player. Good move for him. So go here, and then he's going to play this 10. I go with Fisayo. Maybe Fisayo. Let's go Fisayo for this one because this is one where you need players with legs. And then, of course, maybe here would be Onyedika. Onyedika there. And then middle here, you have Uche Crisantos. You have Crisantos Uche. Uche, and then that's it. Then of course, so we want to play with a sweeper then. If you play with a sweeper, there's only one person that can do that right now in this team. Second. And then you have what's his face here? You have Ola not here. Then either you're having Calvin Bassey, and I'll have to go with Calvin Bassey then, or yeah, I have to go with Calvin Bassey if you want to play this. So that's what I've gone with. Let me know what you think. If this represents what you like to see. Agu should not start. Bruno Yemachi to start. So in that other formation I did, that I started. So Bentley, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. Agu should not start. So you prefer Bruno Yemachi. That's fair for me. Either of them could start. So if Bruno Yemachi starts ahead, that's the joy I have with the left back situation in Nigeria, right? The two left backs, they come in, they can actually start. So this is what I've come up with. This is what I've come up with if you're going with this formation. So, but it does leave the team pretty exposed in a way. Pretty exposed in a way. You're going with this sort of thing, where of course Victor Osimhen will start, Dila Bashir will be here, and then Bruno Chukwueze on this wing, and Lukman here as well, Uche here. So, or now Ekong and Bassey. So maybe we go with. So this what I have sort of looked at. You go with that kind of formation, but then again, it could leave you super exposed, in my humble opinion. So, by the way, so if you just joined the stream, thanks for joining. We're talking about the World Cup qualifiers that will be taking place on Saturday against Rwanda, and then going on to the next week where we're going to be playing South Africa. Talking opinions on the game. We've talked about, new faces in the, not new faces as far as new players, but we have new players that have just joined the camp. We have Victor Osimhen, Crisantos Uche, Tula Lukodare, Samuel Chukwueze. They are all now in the team. I think we have a full complement of players right now. So, are you confident going into the game versus Rwanda, or are you just having the feeling that maybe Nigeria could struggle a bit? So, talk some opinions on that one. Right? What do you think about that game? Are you super confident that Nigeria would win that game? What are your thoughts and opinions on that? For me, I'm genuinely confident that Nigeria can win that game. For sure. But it's just a question of mindset. What sort of mindset this team, is in to go into that game. So let me get some opinions on the team, on the game, on how Nigeria will play. And I also give an update with respect to Igor Ogbu, because Igor Ogbu, when he was dropped, I was a bit upset because, so why would you drop him? Because he's one of the best defenders in the team already. So why would he be dropped? But eventually says 4-2-3-1 would be fine. Yeah, that would be fine. I think that's more balanced. So if you have your what's his face, Uche Santos and Rafael Onyedika sitting behind maybe Fisayo Dele Bashiru or behind Alex Iwobi, I think that would work well, as well. And then you have your full backs overlapping, and you have your two wide players in Chukwueze and Ademola Lookman, so they can both stretch out wide or come narrow in parts of that game. So I think And then there's one question that came up in the discussion I had with Jare, about how we lose games or drop points towards the end of games. And for me, I feel like there's one thing that is missing: that midfielder that can help control games. We don't have that type of midfielder in the team. And to be fair, we rarely produce those type. Or is it that we don't give those type of players the opportunity? We're not really, excited by this type of players. Because when you look at teams that are succeeding right now, you have Rodri in that position, doing for Man City and for Spain. You had Pirlo for Italy when he was there, right? So you have Vitinha right now for Portugal. Teams that win tournaments, that go far in tournaments, you see them having those sort of players. So for me, you have someone like Ebenezer Kintimiro, but we have lots and lots of excuses who will give us why he's not ready for the team. So even if you're saying he's not the person, Nigeria needs that person, because in that Zimbabwe game, in the last World Cup qualifying cycle, there was the issue of lack of control, and that's why Zimbabwe got back into that game, and just were able to sneak in that late equalizer and stole the point. So that's one area where we're lacking. So do you guys think that that's an issue, respect to why Nigeria loses points and drop points towards the end of games, because we don't have that sort of midfielder that could help control games? We used to have Olise, right? Olise used to be that guy. Mikel used to be that guy. But right now, we don't have players that can do that. So for me, I think even more than the defense, of course, the defense can be on its own, can be an issue, but I just think, I agree with you, Onyeka. Any formation we want to play, 4-2-2, 4-2-2-3-1, Onyeka should be starting. There shouldn't be any excuse why he shouldn't start, because he can pass the ball, he can shoot the ball, he can really, really defend. So it's okay. You're talking about Onyeka. Sorry, I'm talking about Onyeka. Onyeka should start. Okay, should start ahead of who? Ahead of Onyeka. Okay, but can he support the attack in a game like this Rwandan game, where you're expecting that Nigeria would, dominate the play? So that's another perspective to look at it from. So okay, you want to go with Onyeka starting. Okay, that's possibly not too bad, but so you want Onyeka and Christian Uche to start in that midfield role. Not my call, but I see how that can work if you have both of them, playing that role. Or what do you guys even think? You play all three of them. Play all three of them in terms of Frank Onyeka, Rafael Onyedika, Christian Uche. And then, of course, you have the two wingers in Samuel Chukwueze and Ademola Lookman, Victor Osimhen playing as the number 9, of course. And then you have the width being provided by the fullback. So essentially, you can defend. You're essentially defending with 5. You can defend with 5 players if needs be. You have those 3 midfielders who can just drop back and provide protection for your Calvin Bassey and your Chus Ekong, or your Calvin Bassey and your Benjamin Fredericks, and then you could have the fullbacks providing with. So essentially, you can defend with 5 and attack with 5 as well. So, what do you guys think of that? Because this game, I think Nigeria needs to start on the front foot, be on the front foot, and turn this Rwandan side into their half. Take every confidence that they have, because that's one thing we really need to avoid. This Rwandan team coming into this game, with beginning to gain confidence, you're playing the game, and you haven't scored first 30 minutes, and they begin to be comfortable. So that's one thing I want Nigeria to avoid, because football is a game, it's a psychological game, it's a game of confidence. If the first 25 minutes you score 2 goals, you drain their whole game plan out of the door. Because if you draw with them, they end up being a point ahead of you still. So I think that 8 points, Nigeria on 7 points. So this game is a game Nigeria should win. Uche should play in front of Onyeka and Dele Bashiru. Uh, I don't. Anyways, I don't know about Onyeka. I don't know about Uche playing that 10 role. People say it's a 10. I just see him as this is my opinion anyway. That's why football is a beautiful game. We all have different opinions on how it should look and things like that, which is fair enough. But I just feel like Uche is better coming from deep, like sitting in front of the back four, but having that energy to bomb forward, make late runs into the box, and then Dele Bashiru to be. So if you, so I prefer if you're playing them three, I would like Uche and maybe Onyeka to pair and be behind Dele Bashiru, or you have a flat three midfield. So that's what I think. I just feel like, of course, Uche Santos maybe could walk in the way to play ahead of them, but I just feel like his best performances comes when he plays deeper. But let's see how Eric Chelle says him. I think the best performance comes when he plays deeper, because sometimes you have even defenders that you play them in a 10 role, they of course will do nothing. You play them in an attacking advanced role, they do nothing. When you play them in a defensive role, they get the ball, they make runs from deep, take shots from outside, score goals, and all that. So Bentley says indeed it will be Moses being used consistently over the years. All are predictable, they are not evolved or added more assets to their game. Yeah, for Didi, I agree with Kevin has come here, the warrior Kevin, not our own Kevin, but Kevin has come here with problem. He wants to pour smoke in this our joyful garden. No worry, Kevin, I'll come for you, but just wait. Indeed, for me, indeed, it only works if you're playing with an orthodox, old school type central defensive midfielder where you're just expecting him sit in front of the back four, don't go anywhere, just protect the back four. That's your job. I think that's where it could work. But if you give him any sort of responsibility of pushing forward and doing those type of things, supporting the attack in any kind of way, you leave him exposed, as we saw in that game. That's one of the reasons, Nigeria drew that game from Zimbabwe, because a lot of people blame Ekong, and I see why they blame him. But Wilfred Ndidi just lost his man, and what he did was because he was tired. He saw the man move past him. He saw the Zimbabwean midfielder, or at least attacking player, move past him, and he made the choice that would help conserve his energy, which was just make that runs move, and you join the people already marking that right back, that winger, in my opinion. So I think if you want to play him as an orthodox right central defensive midfielder, I think that would work. But if you want him to be more mobile, I think that would be a challenge. And it will be, you have a point there with Iwobi, but the thing is, we are stuck with this selection they've made. We are stuck. It's either Iwobi or Bashiru. So we are stuck. That's why when I talk about each and one area and people lose their minds, I just feel a bit bothered, because it's almost like you're watching the game, but you don't understand where Nigeria, where we lack players. When it comes to the 10 role, we lack it. That's clear for everyone to see. It will be even Bashiru that makes shifts right now. We're lacking in that 10 role. That is why, if I was in a place where I could decide, I would have, the chairman of National Sports Commission, the MPFL chairman, special assistant on sport, whatever, all the people that have anything to do with sports, lead the contingent down to where he lives, where Peter Wanere lives, and have that discussion with him, to get him to commit to playing for Nigeria, because we really lack that 10, that creative 10. We really lack it. Simon Moses as well. And for me, the thing is, Chukwueze and Ademola Lookman should start, because Ademola Lookman is more productive. But the thing is, sometimes Eric Chelle, one thing I've noticed with Eric Chelle is he loves this thing where, he will just pack all the attacking players and throw it into the game. and you wonder where are they playing? Like, who is playing where? And that's one thing I don't want to see in this game. So for me, I'm with you. Simon Moses for me should be on the bench. Adema Lukman and Chukwueze should start on either flank, and let's go that way. With the game won, Simon Moses can come on, 15 minutes or so to the game. Did you also cost us Benin Republic, Abidjan, go back and check both goals considered? I agree with you, Bentley. So Kevin has come in. I'm guessing South Africa say, go Bafana, go. I see you have chess coming into a den of Nigerians. Okay, Kevin. But of course, South Africa, they have every reason to be confident. They have every reason to be confident. 6 points ahead, so they have every reason to be confident. But for me, I just feel that Jari has joined. I just feel like if Nigeria takes that game seriously and the right mindset, we're going to win. We're going to win. So, Jari, thanks for rejoining. A few questions for you now. So, Jari, are you with me? Okay. Nothing yet. So, I think nothing yet. So, I'll check again. So, I think South Africa are super confident. Jari, are you with me? Can you hear me? Okay. Or are you on mute? I don't know. Okay, I will check back on you. I'll check back on you to see if you're back with us. So, but my mindset, if Nigeria takes the game seriously, approaches it with the right mindset, I think Nigeria should comfortably beat South Africa and beat and beat Rwanda. It's easier said than done, I know for sure, but with the players we have going with the right mindset and the coach not mucking about by playing players out of position, I think Nigeria should be able to win those games, right? And one thing I believe is South Africa will drop points. They will surely drop points. But the question is, will the Super Eagles, will Eric Chelle and Nigerian Super Eagles be in that position where, he dropped off, I think, with network issues, will be in that. When you come back, Jari, I'll add you up. So that's fine. Apologies for network issues. So when you are in that, when they're in that position where they drop points, would we be there? Would Eric Chelle and his boys be there to take advantage? Close enough. Because once you drop any points against Rwanda, it's done. There's no need for any mathematics. It's done. Because right now, they are 6 points ahead. If they draw and you drop points, then it still remains 6 points. And then even if you go and win against them, you still have a lot to do. Because what we should be looking to do now is to eclipse South Africa in terms of points. Go there and match them and get that. What should be our plan. If you drop points, we should be there to take advantage. So South Africa, they have every right to be confident, 6 points ahead. But I think in terms of quality, Nigeria have all it takes to go into those games and win. But of course, psychologically, we have to be ready for the fight. Start the game with aggression. Start the game positively on the front foot. Pen Rwanda in their own half. Pen them in their own half. Don't start sluggishly. And then chill. Please, I beg you, if you ever get to watch this video, if anyone can share this video up until the point where it gets to Eric Chelle, please do. Do not play players out of position. There's no joy. There's no benefit. I've watched it with Chelsea. I'm sure you must have watched it with your own clubs and all that. I've watched it, and there's no benefit. You keep playing midfield, fullbacks in midfield. It doesn't work. Playing a left back, a right back, I don't see the benefit. I don't see what you get from it, right? Play Ola, right back. It seems like a simple thing and something we should not talk about, but coaches like Eric Chelle make us talk about it. So it's just a madness for me. So for me, in any starting lineup I put, I can't have him there. I can't have him there. It's just he could come in 10 minutes to go, but even at that, Nigeria should be winning with a healthy margin, in my opinion. Nigeria should be winning with a healthy margin, maybe 3-0, 2-0 with 5 minutes to go. Then maybe, because you can't afford to go into these games and not come back with a win. You just can't. You just can't, in my opinion. So let me know about what your opinions about what we've talked about so far. Kevin, I don't know if he's still here or he's left. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. And then, of course, I need to ask, is there any shout for Cyril Dessers starting? Does anyone have any shout for Cyril Dessers starting again? For me, I think he's a decent finisher, but I just feel like we'll be up for the physical battle, and we don't have that kind of 10. That's my problem. That's the problem with Dessers. We don't have that absolute creative 10. We don't have that creative 10. So who are we? So that's the point. So that's the problem with having Dessers. That person that can just slip those balls in. Sorry. So that's some opinions on that one. Any shout for Cyril Dessers starting, or we just stick with Victor? Of course, Victor Osimhen must start. There's no doubt about that one. Just stick with Tolu. So, but also just want to say one thing. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who joined the stream, that was watching. I'm hoping you've shared this stream as well. And since you're here, please help me smash the like button. It does mean a lot. And hit the subscribe button as well if you're new to the channel. And I also want to say, try to put together a community of Nigerians that love football, want to grow, watching football, supporting football, talking about football on here, and just progressing. Off of the back of our love for the beautiful game. So if you want to be part of that community, you can also join, our WhatsApp group, the Google Mad Football Channel WhatsApp group. So you can see behind the scenes, have some discussions, about programming and things like that. So if you want to be part of that community, and of course, in that group, you want to participate in panel discussions, you want to be part of giveaways that happen, that would be a good place for you to be as well. So if you want to be part of that community, there is the description. There is what they call now. There is the link to the WhatsApp group is there. And in subsequent videos, I'll be bringing up the QR code that you can scan, to join the WhatsApp group. So let me know just opinions on that if you want to be part of that sort of community. Because yes, we'll talk about football like we keep talking about. We'll talk about Chelsea, Nigeria, but we really want to impact lives using football, yeah. So Bentley, if we go 4-4-2, you can pair him with Osimhen. So just as with Osimhen, okay. Lookman and Chukwueze on both wings, good. Onyeka, Uche in the middle, okay. Onyeka can do the box-to-box thing. I agree on that one. For sure. So that's good. That's good. So Osimhen can be the guy that does the rough and tumble work, puts the pressure, runs about, and all that. And they have complementary skills as well. They have complementary skills. But for me, while I see how that can work, I just feel like he's more of those people who are type of strikers that are very good finishers. He's a very good finisher and needs that creative 10 behind him to slip in those balls so he can latch onto it and finish. And that's one area I feel Nigeria are lacking. And I really, really, really feel that we should have gotten one thing sorted out. I don't know, for people who follow the MPFL very, very closely, is there a 10, like a real proper 10? Each time I look at stats, I try to do some research on it. I don't really see a 10 that stands out there, to me, that can come in and have that impact. But Nigeria really does need a 10. Really, really. In addition to a deep line playmaker. Like each time I say Beniza against Miro, People are like, oh, Ebenezer Kinsimiro is this, is that, is that. But who else is in that caliber? That is the question. You know, if we had a Rodri, if we had a Mikel, if we had a Sondolise, right, we wouldn't need to complain about that. But looking at the team now, who is that guy that can come in and help control play? You know, because it's really important. It's easy for us to look at defense, look at Ekong and say, oh boy, you're the problem. But that midfield lets us down big time. I'm hoping if Santos starts alongside, I want to go to Onyeka, but even if Onyeka starts, that's fine. If both of them start, hopefully you have that energy to shut out teams and then also create opportunities up front. Then you have, but you still need that. We still need that 10. Still need that 10. Still need that 10. So let me know your opinions on all of that. If you want to be part of that community, I spoke about, let me know. You can use the link in the channel description to join, and so we can grow. We can grow all together. So, some opinions on all of this. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who's watched this stream from start to finish. You smash the like button, seeing your likes, can have more likes. That would be super, super. That would be super for me. Really would appreciate that. So, say a big thank you to all of you who've been here from start to finish. Tomorrow we'll be having another stream on here, and then I did a stream today on visibility of Nigerian grassroots talents. I think that's another video that you would like to watch after this one. You can go watch that one and let me know your opinions. Leave your comments there so I could definitely know your opinions on the game. So at this point, I've come to the end of this video. I want to say massive thank you to everyone that's been here from start to finish. It's really, really been amazing to see your support. It does mean a lot. Thank you so much. And then I'll see you on yet another video. So stay well, stay blessed, and have a fantastic, fantastic rest of your day. Bye-bye.